Welcome to Everyday Counseling, a podcast about understanding emotional patterns as they show up in everyday life. There's a point in conflict where something changes. It's subtle at first. A sentence lands badly, a look is held a second too long, a reply comes back sharper than expected, and then the tone shifts. You might recognize it, the conversation was still manageable, then suddenly it wasn't. Maybe you feel heat in your chest, your jaw tightens, stop listening properly, you're no longer curious about what the other person means, you're preparing your response. Or you go the other way, you feel yourself shutting down, words just feel pointless, you withdraw, even if you're still physically there. That tripping point is what changes disagreement into rupture. Before that moment, there's still space. After it, the nervous system takes over. Some people escalate outwardly, their voice rises, their senses get faster, they interrupt, they repeat themselves. It can look like aggression, but often it's urgency. Others escalate inwardly. They go quiet. They disengage. They become cold or flat. It can look like indifference, but often it's overwhelm. Both reactions are intense. The difference is visible versus silent escalation. You might notice that at home, when a small disagreement about plans turns into a much bigger argument, not because the topic was important, but because something underneath was touched. With a sibling, a passing comment might trigger years of unspoken comparison. Suddenly, the tone changes. The conversation isn't about today anymore. With a friend, a cancelled plan might feel like dismissal. The reaction comes quickly. The next message carries more change and charge than intended. At work, feedback delivered without warmth can flip the interaction. You respond defensively, the other person becomes firmer. Now the exchange feels tense. The moment conflict tips over is rarely about logic. It's about feeling flooded, overwhelmed, intense. Psychologist John Gottman used the word flooding to describe when emotional intensity becomes so high that clear thinking drops. You're not processing nuance anymore, you're reacting. When someone is flooded, they may say things they don't fully mean, or they may go completely silent. In both cases, the body is trying to protect itself. The problem is that the other person experiences that protection as attack or withdrawal. And that's when things spiral. When people feel misunderstood or threatened, the original topic fades. Now it's about tone, respect, and feeling heard. You might notice this pattern in arguments that seem to repeat. It's not the topic that repeats, it's the tipping point. The same moment where tone shifts. The same point where one person feels dismissed and the other feels accused. Understanding this moment is important because it's the last point where direction can change. Before voices rise too far, before silence becomes distance, before words are said that linger. Some people learn to recognize the signs, the tightness, the urgency, the withdrawal. Not perfectly, but earlier. That recognition doesn't stop disagreement, it changes the trajectory. Because once you see the tipping point, you have a choice. Do you push harder or do you pause? Join me in the next episode. We'll look at what repair actually looks like after conflict tips over and why the way people come back together matters more than whether they argued at all.